Alright fight fans, you're watching Can Control MMA. I'm Dan. Today I just want to talk a little bit about who I think is going to be the most high profile fighters who are getting cut in the next round of cuts that Dana's talked about at the end of the year. We're just going to focus on the men's divisions today. May or may not do one on the women's divisions, but I don't think there's going to be as many high profile names leaving from the women's. So for now we're just going to focus on the men's. I've picked one fighter just from each division, the most high profile name. Obviously there'll be a lot of fighters lower down in the rankings that I imagine most people won't be too familiar with. So I just want to keep it as really to high profile fighters that everyone will be familiar with. Okay, so first off, couldn't find anyone in the flyweight division. That's looking pretty alright at the minute. Again, like I said, I've kept mainly to the top 15 of these. One of them's not in there, but we'll get to that a bit later on. Okay, bantamweight. This may surprise everyone, and please, just a quick disclaimer: I don't want any of these fighters to get cut. Every fighter, with the exception of one, who will probably be quite obvious I've got on this list, I really like and want to see them stay in the UFC. But I think there's various reasons why they may be on the way out. Okay, so with that disclaimer out of the way, Jose Aldo, right, a lot of people won't expect that. He's currently ranked 7 at bantamweight. He's 28-7 overall. As everyone knows, former featherweight champion. Excuse me, but he is 2-3 in his last 5. He's 0-2 at featherweight, at bantamweight. I appreciate his last fight was for the title, but he is getting a lot older. I think he's 3-7 in his last 10. That's going back to Chad Mendes, just before he fought McGregor. So he's definitely on a downward slope. He's had a very good career though. The main reason I think he's most likely to get cut in the bantamweight division though, 400 grand he made in his last fight. I appreciate that was a title shot, but my understanding is he's on around that for every fight. And I don't know what he's got left on his current contract, but the slide he's on, how much he's earning, I think he's probably the most likely of a high profile bantamweights to go. Bit of a disclaimer though, he's very popular in Brazil. He does have fans out there, so whether that factors into it and that can save him is yet to be seen. But I think if any ranked bantamweights get cut, I think it's going to be him. Okay, featherweight, Jeremy Stephens. It amazes me that this guy's still in the UFC, to be honest. I'm not saying he's not entertaining, but I'm fairly sure he holds the record for most UFC losses. I think he's got about 16 UFC losses, something like that, and maybe a little bit off. He's 28-18 overall. Not the most fantastic record, but I've seen worse. He's 0-4-1 in his last fight, and he missed weight in his last fight. As everyone knows, Dana's not big on people missing weight. He's not won a fight for, I think, nearly 3 years. The no contest was his fault, really. So yeah, you could argue that he's 0-5 in his last 5 fights. He's not a big money guy. He made 46,900 in his last fight, but he did have 30% of his purse taken away. So probably closer to about 60 and 60s on something like that. Just a quick one on the payments numbers I'm coming up with. They may not be 100%. I've tried to cross-reference them as many places as I can find, but they may be off. And if anyone watching has got more accurate numbers, please put it in the comments. I'd love to see. Okay, lightweight, Kevin Lee. This one is probably the least likely on the list for a few reasons. 18-6 overall, 2-3 in his last 5. He obviously had that quick excursion at welterweight, which didn't go fantastically for him. He's missed weight twice at lightweight though, against Oliveira and Barboza. His last win against Gregor Gillespie, I believe, he earned 218. So for that, I'm assuming he's on about 100 and 100 per fight. Yeah, he has spoken a bit about taking some time away though, so I don't know if they'll just keep him on ice. Obviously they're not paying him unless he's fighting. So yeah, but the lightweight division, as everyone knows, is looking very strong at the minute from 1 to 15. and much deeper than that. So I'd be surprised if anyone else got cut from a lightweight, any high profile names. I'd be a bit surprised if Kevin Lee got cut, but like I say, his most high profile name that could potentially be on the block. Alright, welterweight, no surprise at all here, I imagine. Tyrone Woodley, 19-6, 2-3 in his last 5. Obviously he's on a 3-fight loss streak. A former welterweight champion, a relatively decent title reign to be fair. Decent win over Robbie Lawler. Got a second round submission over Tilly, dominated him for that whole fight. But 350 grand he made to lose against Colby. I'm assuming he made the same against Burns and probably get a bit more against Usman when he lost his title. So yeah, and Dana's talked a little bit about getting rid of him anyway. So yeah, I think this is probably the one I'm most sure of the lot. Except for Jacare. We all saw UFC 256 last night. Jacare got knocked out quite dominantly by Kevin Holland. Just a quick word on Kevin Holland, he looks fantastic. Fighter of the year, as I said in my post-show video yesterday. Jacare though, 26-10 overall, 1-4 in his last 5. He's, as far as I can work out, he's on about 110 and 110 per fight. But he's 41 now. He's on a 3-fight skid, and I can't see him sticking around. Okay, light heavyweight, Shogun Rua. Obviously had the win over Little Nog back in the summer. And he's not got the worst record, to be honest. He's worst recent record anyway. He's 27-12-1 overall, and he's 2-2-1 in his last 5. He got very badly dominated by Paul Craig only a couple of weeks ago. I think that was UFC 255. Tap into strikes is never a good look. And this isn't the Shogun who was light heavyweight champion. It's not the Shogun we saw in Pride back in the day. Well, I wasn't watching then. I wasn't aware of Pride until a few years ago. But yeah, Shogun on about 100 and 100 as best I can work out. So not the highest paid athlete by any means, but he's had a great career and I think he should retire personally. But if he doesn't, I'm sure Bellator, PFL, maybe even Bare Knuckle would want to take him. Alright, heavyweight, I say this with a very heavy heart. JDS, Junior Dos Santos. I spoke about this a lot in the last week. I've been very worried about him. I said if he gets knocked out in this one, that's going to be it for him. He's 21-9 now after last night. 1-4 in his last 5, 4-fight skid. And he's got knocked out in the first 2 rounds in all 4 of them. Again, he's fought some big guys, Francis Ngannou, Curtis Blades, and Jairzinho Rozenstruik. And obviously Cyril Gane last night, though, new up-and-comer, made a name off JDS. He'll propel himself into the top 6 or 7 now. But the main reason JDS is going to get cut, in my opinion, reported earnings, as best I could find, 400 grand. And yeah, they're not paying 400 grand to someone who lost 4 in a row by knockout. Right, quick honourable mention. Well, dishonourable mention, depending on how you choose to look at it. Kelvin Gastelum. He's, sorry, one sec. He's 2-3 in his last 5. Reported 160 per fight. 160 and 160, I believe he's on. He's 15-6 overall. He's on a 3-fight skid. And I don't know, just because the middleweight division's not the most exciting at the minute and it's been a bit held up, I don't know if that'll keep him around. I'd be surprised to see him get, not overly surprised, but he's not someone I'm expecting to get cut at all. Alright, so that's going to wrap us up talking about the fighter cuts, potential fighter cuts that are coming in. I appreciate a few of my picks may have been a bit curveball, particularly Aldo and Kevin Lee. I think the rest of them, though, are probably pretty safe to be cut. If anyone's got any other opinions on who might get cut, I'd love to see them in the comments. Apart from that, like and subscribe, follow me on Instagram, Hope everyone has a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow where we'll start talking about UFC Vegas 17. Jeff Neal and Stephen Thompson are headlining that one. So yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.